What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the live stream. We got a special one going on today because I have a guest, Jeff from SoCal Sense. I'm going to get it all set up here, and then he'll join me in about, I'd say, like 10 minutes so we can get started, talk to you guys a little bit about your scent of the days, stuff like that, what's going on with the channel. Hope that you guys had a fantastic Easter, all that good stuff. So, about your scent of the day. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to go over our top 5 spring fragrances. We're going to obviously be chatting with you guys throughout the entire time. And then we'll probably go back and forth talking about each like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all that good stuff. What's up, Kevin from Lakeland, Florida? How you doing, man? We also have Antonio Harvey that before the live stream, he said his scent of the day is Lysla Blanca. I've never heard of that before, but sounds very interesting. And then we have Jay, aka Celtics, it wore Sauvage to work, and then Tarathi Blue as his scent of the night. Really nice choices. Tarathi Blue, a lot of people say is a clone of Bulgari Tiger, but they really don't smell the same. So I guess it's more of inspired by. So yeah. And I do want to let you guys know, just so you're aware, whenever I do collaboration live streams, whether it's on my channel or somebody else's channel, unfortunately, StreamYard is the only thing that you can use for this type of setup. And they do not accept my Blue Yeti mic. It does not accept my $200 Bluetooth mic. It doesn't accept any of that. So I have to use my old headphone mic. So unfortunately, it sounds like it sounds good. It doesn't accept any. Yeah, it sounds good. So I don't think we have any issues going on with that. So with that said, yeah, let me know what your scent of the day is in the chat today. I am wearing this. It is by Imaginary Authors. It is called Saint Julep, and I'll be talking about that later because it is in my top 5 green fragrances, or top 5 fragrances to wear during the spring. I wore that yesterday afternoon. I was going to wear L'Homme Ideal Intense, but I decided to go with St. Julep because my family likes the mintiness from it. So, yeah, I decided to go with that as my scent of the day. We have Antonio Harvey. What's going on, man? Hey, it's from Ramon Monagal. I have never heard of that before. Yeah, I haven't heard of Lysla Blanca or Ramon Monagal before, so must be an indie house that I've just never heard of, but sounds interesting. There was a couple fragrances that did not make my spring list that easily could have made my spring list. There's one that I really want to try out. It is by M. Micallef, and it's called Gin Tonic, and apparently it smells like Lacoste Blanc Eau Fraiche, just like a niche version of it with a twist. I really want to try that fragrance out because Lacoste Blanc Eau Fraiche is one of my favorite fragrances. But anyway, if you are joining into the chat, I see Jeff, you're already in there, but I'm going to bring Jeff in about, I'd say 7 minutes or so we can get you guys all in here. But yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. Hopefully we get a decent enough crowd. I know sometimes on Mondays it's not big, sometimes it's not, whatever, but it is what it is. We have Freddie, who is rocking Gucci Guilty Parfum. Nice. Gucci is one of those fragrance houses that I've said countless times. I used to like Envy a lot. It was one of my favorite fragrances back then. But ever since then, I can wear their fragrances. I don't own any of them anymore because none of the Gucci fragrances, even though I just tried out Gucci Oud, something that Mo sent me, and that was Intense Oud, I think, and that was a very good fragrance. But all the ones that they sell at Macy's and stuff, I mean, I could do without them. They're very average fragrances, but Gucci Guilty Parfum is nice. What's up, Chris? Ola Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense, my wife's favorite summer fragrance. So she would definitely like how you're smelling today. Anyway, well, you know what? We don't have many people in the chat right now, so I am going to bring Jeff in just a second. What's up, Sun Devil? Scent of the day is Bentley Black Edition. That's another one I haven't tried. I tried 3 Bentleys, but that is definitely not one of them. Jeff, if you are ready, I will bring you in. Here, let me see. There we go. Yeah, he's ready. Guess Jeff. There we go.
What's up?
What's going on, Jeff? How you doing, man?
Good. I forgot what we were doing for a second, and I was like, when you had me in the lobby, I was like, oh, I gotta get my spring fragrances. So I ran and
Yeah,
got my spring fragrances.
I honestly forgot I was doing a live today until about 1 o'clock. Well, like what was it, like 11 o'clock your time? And I
Yeah.
texted Jeff and I was like, "Oh wait, we doing that live tonight? If you want to, we can. If you don't, then I'll just do it myself." Because I forgot that we were doing it too. That's what happens when you have a busy schedule going on.
Yeah. It's weird. I'll go through spurts where I have like nothing to do, and then all of a sudden, like everything happens at once. I'm like, can't do anything for the next 2 weeks.
Yep, that's I feel the same way. So what are you wearing today, man?
So I'm wearing Mont Blanc Legend Eau de Parfum.
Oh wow! For a second there, I was like, "What the hell is that?" I don't know why I was thinking that,
Legend
but
EDP.
yeah.
I haven't worn it in a while, and it was just looking at me the day when I went to put on fragrance, and I was like, I'm gonna wear this one.
Yeah,
I sprayed it on at 9 a.m. Still smells good, and it's now 4:30. So
yeah, I
that's
was
what.
getting a bunch of decant packages together to send for another stream that I'm doing in a week that I told you about with Ross and Dedrick.
Yeah,
And I saw John Varvatos Double X, which is what I text you, and it was covered in dust because I mean I haven't worn that fragrance in forever, and so I sprayed that on my hand. And I was like, I don't even remember this smell. Like I didn't remember the fragrance at all. And then I was like, wait, this kind of smells like Valentina's Coral Fantasy mixed with like the Intense. But it's like fragrances that I have because we have so many. It's you can't even get to most of them.
yeah, and all the XX from John Varvatos, they're all pretty good. Um, they're just I don't know what happened with them. It's, the whole brand just kind of when they launched those, the brand basically dissolved, and yeah, they went completely under the radar for most people.
I forgot that I can put those on the screen now. I don't do StreamYard very often, and the last time I did StreamYard was with you. And I honestly don't usually like this, but I mean I need to get a laptop so I don't have to. You don't see my finger going like this every single time.
Yeah.
But what's up, Michael? He's at two awesome legends of the Fragcom. I appreciate it, man. Nice. And then we got welcome to Mo's. What's up, dude? Jeff, chat. What's going on, Mo?
I wish I could just take the comment box and put it right in front of the camera so it looks like I'm looking at you, but it's
Yeah.
way off to the side.
Well, I'm gonna try because I set up my camera so you can't see my finger because it's over. This is where the camera is, and I used to be going like this, and you could see me touching it. But I
Yeah.
set it up today so you can't see that. So I'm gonna try to put them up on the screen as much as I can. But Michael is wearing LeBeau Paradise Garden. So Jeff is not a huge coconut fan, and I know he does not like the LeBeau line. But
I don't like LeBeau at all.
Yeah, LeBeau Paradise Garden's nice. I still prefer, for me, the original is my favorite still in the line. And then the Parfum, I like the opening. The dry down is very earthy. It's almost like an earthy mess. I know you hate that one.
Yeah. Besides the coconut, because I can get over the coconut, and because I know people like LeBeau because of the coconut, but like LeBeau Le Parfum just smells dirty. Like
Yeah.
it smells nasty to me. Like I don't know how there's any hype on that one.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. That one's 50-50 or one way or the other. You either really like it or you don't. And I am one of the ones that don't. But LeBeau Paradise Garden, that one's nice, but I still prefer the original over it. And I know you don't like that either. What's up, Sandy? And then we got Patrick saying, got a pretty big sample haul. Boss's Scent Elixir, Boss Bottled Elixir, Paradise Garden, Y Elixir, Born in Roma, Coral Fantasy, and Green Stravaganza. Well, I know one of those at least you're going to hate. Do you know which one I'm talking about, Jeff?
For me personally,
No,
or
I was talking about Green Stravaganza. I think that
yeah,
opening,
that's just boring.
yeah,
It's
Green
not a
Strav.
bad fragrance. It's just not a great fragrance.
See, I tried it in Ulta the other day, for like the fourth time, because I have a decant here, but I decided to spray it from the bottle, and I was like, wait, maybe my decant was wrong, and because I hadn't sprayed it in like 2 weeks, like before vacation. And then I smelled it and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty. And then it was like 2 seconds later. I was like, okay, never mind. That's what it is. It's pretty boring as hell. But Patrick, that's a good haul for sure. Boss Bottled
Yeah.
Elixir and Boss Ascent Elixir are really good.
I
And
feel like with
why?
Green Stravaganza, if you got it as a gift, you'd be like, "Oh, this is a nice smelling gift."
Yeah.
But I don't think it's one that anyone should go out of their way to buy.
Yeah, it's the worst. To me, it's the worst one in the line.
Coral's up there.
A lot of people love Coral, and I'm kind of in the middle. I think that coral goes hand in hand with yellow dream, but I like yellow dream better.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah,
They're like you'd wear them for the same occasions. Like it's the most redundant of the line.
exactly. Well, I'm just gonna read through the rest of them so I don't have to keep putting my finger up there. We got Mo. Pretty sure you guys would like the new John Varvatos a lot. I actually heard that. I heard really good things about the new Intense, the XX Intense.
Coolest looking bottle of the bunch.
Yeah, I
Black
still
with red cracked glass in it.
every other one though that I get, I take little pliers and I cut off that thing. I hate the thing that dangles from it. The little star,
Yeah.
the John Varvatos star.
The I have XX Blue Indigo,
Mm-hmm.
and that bottle got ripped off real quick.
Yeah, I hate those things because it's like you're trying to spray it on, and that thing's like on top of your hand. It makes me pissed off. And then the original is super loud on my skin. The original is super loud on my skin, screechy even. He's talking about LeBeau. But Paradise Garden is perfect on my skin. However, some girl at the gym thought I smelled like lemongrass. That's an interesting thing for a girl at the gym to say. Hey, you smell like lemongrass.
Hey, I mean, fresh and clean.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not a bad thing. I mean,
Yeah.
lemongrass smells good. What do you guys think of Chanel Allure Homme Sport Cologne? Still worth
Hardest
it
one
for
to
this?
find. I think I've only seen that in the Chanel boutiques lately.
Yeah, so I own every single Allure Homme in the line, including Edition Blanche, which is also a boutique exclusive. But the cologne I have never seen before. I've never smelled it, and I've never seen it.
I've smelled it. It's nice, pleasant. The question was, well, does it work for spring? Yes.
Yes.
But you're always pushing on when you're getting on those 20, 25-year-old fragrances is like, hey, is it still modern enough where there's not better alternatives? And Chanel prices, there's always a better alternative.
Yeah, I had a few on my what's it called? I had a few that were on my list of possible fragrances for this video. I had Polo Cologne Intense that I ended up not putting in. I had the
I almost
new
grabbed that too.
I had the new Blue Atlas. That one, I didn't want to put that in a top 5 because I just got that. And I was like, I need to wear it more for me to say that it's in my top spring fragrances. And then the other one was the original Allure Homme or Kashi. I could have put both of them on it, but I was like, those are more like any season fragrances. So I'm not putting that in a spring.
That's why I never put Allure Homme Sport in any spring fragrance video because I'm like, you can wear that year round.
Right.
Like it's versatile.
Sandy said I got my bottle.
Go ahead.
Sandy said I got my bottle of Pacific Chill and Roja Manhattan. Very happy. I've never tried Manhattan, and then smelled the new Scandal Absolute. And what do you think about the Scandal Absolute? Oh, it says smells good. It didn't finish it on the screen. I heard really good things. People were saying, I got 3 comments on my Instagram about the new Scandal Absolute. Some guy is going to send it to me on the 13th of this month. He's sending me, I'm not sure if it's a full bottle or what, but he said that it is the best release of the last 2 years, which I think is a bold statement. But he said that it's not as sweet as the other 2. The plum is really nice in it, and that it's a lot more wearable than the other 2.
Yeah, I wasn't super into the original Scandal.
And Pacific Chill is going to be on your top 5, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured that already.
I just held it up.
Yeah.
I actually have to like make conscious decisions not to wear it because I live in the perfect weather for it.
My wife loves that in afternoon swim. But the thing is that she says that she only gets like an hour with afternoon swim. So she can't wear that, but she wants me to buy a bottle of Pacific Chill. And I was like, you give me $300 and I'll buy it for you. Because I love the scent.
Like $380.
Yeah. Is that what it is now?
Yeah. After taxes and stuff, it's like $380. I bought it when it was $300 plus tax. So it was like $330, $340. And now it's like $350 plus tax. It's something crazy.
Someone said the new Aqua de Joe Parfum is out now. I want to try it. Isn't that the one that is kind of just like a remake? Profondo Parfum?
Yeah. So, Profondo Parfum is new. That hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
Profondo Eau de Parfum is just a new bottle that people are like, oh, it smells different when it's the same fragrance. And then there's a new bottle for the Eau de Parfum as well of Geo, but The Parfum, it came out last year.
Oh, yeah. SR. Are you talking about Profondo Parfum, or are you talking about the one from last year? Because the one from last year, I think that was a better release than the EDP, but to me, it was still just another Aqua de Jo. Like, it smelled good, but it was, to me, still another Aqua de Jo, and I prefer the Profumo over it. But
Yeah, I liked the Parfum a little bit better than Profumo personally, but at the end of the day, is you have to ask yourself, do you want to smell like Gio?
totally.
And I always feel like that's a big question because I'm like, there's a good chance someone's dad or uncle is going to remind you of that fragrance.
Right. So Michael, he's from Australia, and he said the other day, I was talking to him about the Azaros, because my mom's in Australia right now for like a 5-week whatever, I don't know, like some kind of cruise. She's going on 5 cruises while she's in Australia, and I asked her to look and see if the new Azaro, the most wanted eau de toilette intense, was there, and she said there was no Azaros there at all. And then he came back the next day and said, where I live, they still don't even have the original, the Parfum. They still haven't got that in 2 years later. But he said that it's 530 Australian dollars for the Pacific Chill. 535.
Yeah. I didn't even
know.
tell you, I emailed Azaro like a couple of weeks ago to find out about the most wanted Parfum because there's been rumors that's being discontinued.
Yeah.
And they emailed me back yesterday and they go, hi, the most wanted Eau de Parfum Intense is not being discontinued. It is now available in stores. And I was like, hey, that's not what I asked for at all.
I'm sure they don't even know what fragrances they have out there.
Azaro has probably like one of the most extended lines that aren't in stores. So
speaking of Zaro, this is for all of you guys. Jeff and I both. I don't know if I even told you this, Jeff, but I just got a notification today that me and Jeff ordered the most wanted eau de toilette intense, and it will be here Wednesday or Thursday. And then I'm going to mail Jeff his, because we both got a bottle in the same order so that we didn't have to pay extra for shipping. But that will be here. So if you guys want to know about the eau de toilette intense, it will be here this week.
And apparently it's a fresh fragrance.
Yeah, apparently it's a fresh fragrance. With that said,
wouldn't it be funny if we smelled it and it's like nothing like how those reviewers said it was like? There's a good chance of that.
Right. I'm going to stop at this comment and then we'll get into the first one on our list. Okay. Blake said, it's Blake, but it's Blake said, have you guys tried Polo 67 yet? Pretty basic blue with pineapple, but smells really nice. You can go first.
Yes, I have. I actually was going to put it on my vlog, but then my vlog was only like 2.5 minutes this week. And I was like, I'll just do 2 weeks in a row. Cause I was like, there's no reason to do a 2.5 minute video. I think it is a nice smelling fragrance. It's a like, not a love though, but it lasted on me all day long. I was talking to Randy about it the day I was wearing it. Yep. You guys have already seen the bottle. So I probably sprayed it on like this far away, and the lady yelled at me at the store. She's like, that's not how you spray on a fragrance. And I was like, this is not how you spray on a fragrance. Cause you know, they always do that.
Right.
8+ hours for me, longevity wise, but I don't smell any pineapple in it.
I've heard that pineapple? So I was going to say, I actually haven't tried it yet because you already know, I got contacted by some company that is doing a thing with Ralph Lauren through TikTok. Even though I don't even do TikTok really anymore, they contacted me through TikTok and they're sending me a bottle of it. So I was like, you know what? Unless I run into it at a store, I'm just going to wait for them to send it to me. I'm not really in that much of a rush to try a Ralph Lauren, to be honest.
Yeah, I rushed to the store as soon as I found out that it was at my store, and I was going to feature it in a video like immediately. And then my guest ended up canceling, so I didn't get to even feature it in a video. And then after wearing it for a day, I was like, oh, it's a nice fragrance. It does. Mo put it perfectly. It's like a sporty version of Ralph's Club.
Ralph's Club.
That's kind of what it smells like, but no pineapple. Like once you smell it, you're kind of like, oh, you should have added that pineapple a little bit stronger to it.
You're not the only one who said that. I've heard probably 20 or 30 people on my channel said, I really wish they would have pushed the pineapple, but it smells like Ralph's Club.
Yeah, it's fresh, but it's not like fresh.
Kind of like in the realm of Myself, where it was trying to be fresh, but not really.
So I think Myself is a good alternative to it, but it's still warmer than myself. I'm trying to think of something that's else is on that fresh but has a warmth under. Like it doesn't
Rosasi
smell
Hawas
like it, but
Ice.
like Wanted Eau de Parfum is
Yeah.
kind of that. It's fresh but it's warm. Hawas Ice is much fresher than that, but yeah, I mean it smells good. It just wasn't a. If I found it for like under $30, I would add it to my collection because it doesn't spark that instant joy for me. I don't plan on buying a bottle of it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of iffy on it. We'll. I mean, obviously, I'm getting the Polo 67, but
yeah, mind you,
um,
if we smelled it on somebody, we would think that person smelled really good.
right.
So
Well,
it's not a case of this fragrance smells bad. It's a case of why. Like
right.
you could have done a little like it's hard to describe without smelling it, but it's not. It just plays everything. Every category of it is safe from the opening to the dry down.
Well, that's Ralph Lauren in general for the most part, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, we are going to get started on. We're going to go back and forth on the set of the. Do you want to do 5, 2, 1, or do you just want to go and just name 5?
Let's just name 5.
All right, so we're going to give you guys 5 of our favorite spring fragrances. Jeff will start first. We'll go back and forth, and then obviously we'll come back to the chat after the first one, the second one. So, all right, Jeff, go ahead.
All right, so my first spring fragrance, you guys have already seen the bottle because I've shown it a bunch of times already, is Pacific Chill by Louis Vuitton. What I like about this fragrance is it just kind of like puts you in a good mood. It's like bright, it's fresh, it's bright, it's happy smelling. And living in Los Angeles, it literally smells like you can wear this pretty much daytime all year round. It's just a good mood lifter.
You know what it reminds me of is, I mean, and I know you said before that it didn't, but it reminds me of Atlantis with mint. I don't know why I get that because of that apricot peach mixture. I get kind of like a minty Atlantis. That's kind of what I get from it, but I love Pacific Chill. I think it's one of their better fragrances.
Definitely fresher than Atlantis.
Oh, yeah, definitely fresher.
But I also like Atlantis, but you can't mention liking Atlantis on FragCon anymore.
Right. So one of mine, I decided to be it's 2 fragrances in one because they're from the same house and they do basically the same thing with a twist. It is Banana Republic's 78 Vintage Green and Linen Vetiver. Vintage Green is a little bit more green grassy, while Linen Vetiver obviously is a bit more on the vetiver side, but they both have this green grassy clean feeling. While I do like Vintage Green a bit more, especially during the spring, because it has this kind of like figgy tea note. It's very much similar to like Nishane's Wulong Cha, if you know that fragrance, but more green grassy on top of it. But I really enjoy that. And then if you kind of want that, but you don't want as much green grassy and you want a little bit of vetiver, then Linen Vetiver is a little bit more citrus clean than this one, but they're both very, very, very similar. If you see these at your Burlington for $22, they're 100% worth it. They're one of the best spring fragrances I've ever tried.
Have you tried Grasslands by Banana Republic?
I have. That one's really good too.
That one, literally, when you were describing those two, I was like, that kind of reminds me of a mix of like combining both of those into the Grasslands.
Yeah, and that one's pretty nice as well. I prefer those two over it. With that said, I completely agree with you. I don't own a bottle, but I have tried that. I don't know. Somebody sent me a decan of it, and then I also have the Metal Rain or whatever it's called from them.
Yeah, I like that one as well.
And Neroli Woods was okay, not fantastic. And then I have the 2 winter ones, the tobacco and tonka bean that I sent you, and then dark cherry and amber, which is kind of like their take on Baccarat Rouge 540.
Yeah, I didn't realize Banana Republic has a separate fragrance thing from their store. And I went into the store and I was like, hey, I want to smell. This is when Metal Rain first came out. And they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, it's you guys' newest release. Like, why isn't it in the store? And then they're like Abercrombie and Fitch and they license out their name.
Oh, really?
So all the Abercrombie Fitch ones that people like really hype about online, like First Instinct and Authentic Night, they're actually not made by Abercrombie. They're made by a third party company for Abercrombie.
Oh, well, that's
That's why
good to
they're
know.
not in the store. But
You get all this random information from people at the mall that I would never, ever in a million years have that information from anywhere. Like, unless I was like looking it up online and I figured it out.
no,
Like, you were walking around in LA, it's like everybody's telling you have people there like reps and stuff, but in Pittsburgh, all you have is kind of like the people who work at Macy's. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You walk into yours, and I'm guessing you guys have like a rep for every brand there.
pretty much. I actually try to avoid talking to the brand reps if I have to, because they're the worst. They lie to you about everything. Um, but the it just depends. Obviously, there's good reps and bad reps from wherever you're at, but like I found like the Gucci reps, they'll be like, "Oh, this is a brand new fragrance," and they hand you Gucci pie or something,
Right.
or Givenchy pie,
Givenchy pie. Yeah, that they
and
sell
you're
that at
like,
Rite Aid now.
and I'm like, "This fragrance is like 25 years old," and they'll be like, "No, it just got here last week," and I'm like, "No."
Well, when I was on the cruise ship, they were like, "You should try this new one." It was Versace blue jeans, and I was like, "Luckily for you, I've never tried that before, so I will try it." But I was like, "That is not new. I know that because it's been out for quite a long time."
You're like, that came out in the mid 90s.
Yeah. Sandy said, "Has anyone?" So I do have thoughts on this. This is why I clicked on it. Has anyone have any thoughts on Givenchy Gentleman Society Extreme? I tested it twice in store, and I think it's much better than the OG, which I already like. So I actually agree with you, Sandy. So while it is redundant to the original, I think that
You
it
don't
is.
need both.
You don't need both. That is 100%. If you own the original, the new one, while better, smoother, and has that nice coffee note, and the dry down is better for sure. If you already own the original, it is dumb to buy the other one because it's basically 85% Givenchy Gentleman Society with this nice little coffee note underneath it. It's almost like the coffee note from Polo Red Extreme, just tossed way underneath of Givenchy Gentleman Society and smoother. So while I agree with you, Sandy, that it is better, it's not worth a purchase if you already own the original. And you agree with that, Jeff, I guess?
Yeah, it's 90% the same.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to make a purchase, even though I do agree that it's from first testing. I mean, it might be better if I owned it, but I didn't really love Society when I first tried it. It was okay. It grew on me, but the Extreme I liked the first thing as soon as I smelled it in the store. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, Society reminded me of like their take on a Ralph's Club.
Yeah. Patrick said Born in Roma Intense is fresh, but has warm at the same time. That is correct. That is a good one, too. But I would say that's more warm than fresh. The Born in Roma Intense. Pretty much all the Born in Romas are more warm than fresh, unless you're talking about the original, which that one kind of has that salty mineralic quality to it, which makes it a slight bit fresher, but I still say that's more warmer than anything.
Yeah, that one's best in the summer at night, I've learned.
Yeah, pretty much all of them are more nighttime fragrances. Jonathan said, much love and scent of the day is Greenlee. My top 5 are Commodity Rain. I never tried that one. I could have put Commodity Bergamot in this, but I'm saving that from my summer cheapie list. Banana Republic Vintage Green, which I just put in. Amouage Reflection. Mason Margiela. Coffee Break is good. Would I put that in spring? Yeah, I guess I would. And Green Irish Tweed. That's a good one, too. Nice list.
And I heard
Jonathan.
Coffee Break is discontinued.
Coffee Break is discontinued. Yeah, I need to get a bottle of it if it is, because I have a 10 milliliter decant, but I need to. That's my favorite coffee fragrance. I've always, I mean, even though it's not like heavy on the coffee, it's always been my favorite coffee fragrance.
Yeah,
I
just
just
like how
don't
Whispers
own it.
is my favorite vanilla fragrance.
Yeah, so I need to get on news and buy a bottle of that ASAP if it's discontinued. They're all talking to each other. Their last comment, and then we'll get to your next one, Jeff. So this is Scott from Central Hub. What's happening, Randy and Jeff? Nice to see both collab on a live stream. Tried Gucci Guilty Elixir the other day at Macy's and thought it was nice. I think it sucks. I think it is terrible, and I think it smells like if Yop Ohm had a modern baby, and it was terrible.
I don't hate it, but
I think
I'm
it's
also
terrible.
if I bought it for $80, I'd be like, okay, but that's another one in a year from now we'll be able to buy for $80.
Yeah, I do not like that at all. It smells like my grandpap to me.
Peacekeeper goes, I hope Pure XS is on the list. And as you know, it's my favorite cold weather fragrance.
Yeah,
Not
Pure XS,
spring.
I would put it in fall, winter. That's
Yeah.
100% what I would do too. But I will get into you get into your second one.
Well, we're gonna both have the same second one, so we're just gonna talk about this fragrance for a while.
I already knew.
Yeah, Lacoste Blanc Eau Fraiche.
And I just found something out. There is a fragrance by M. Micallef. It's called Gin Tonic or Gin Tonic. And apparently it is a niche version of this with a twist. And it's it was on Venba. It's usually like $250, but it was on Venba for $145. So I am buying a bottle of that as soon as it comes back in stock.
Okay, get that little nice blind purchase in.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on it? So everybody, just in case you guys haven't heard his thoughts.
Favorite fragrance release in 2022, and there were some good fragrances that year. This is by far my favorite. Versatile Freshie. That's the best way to describe it. You can wear this year round, but it's a versatile Freshie fragrance.
Yep.
So pretty much just spray this on. People are going to think you smell really, really good. And anyone that likes the fresh fragrance, you're going to like it.
Yeah, to me, it was also my favorite release of 2022. I believe I actually did a top 10 list at the end of the year, and I said that was my favorite release of the year. I am just about out of it. It's $44 on Joma Shop. If you guys want to get it, make sure you use either Jeff or my link. I'm sure one of us has a Joma Shop link out there. But for me, I always say that it's like walking through the woods on a spring windy day with a basket of lemons and a little bit of pickled ginger. Like, that's just what it reminds me of. It's like a fizzy, almost like a fizzy green Sprite with some pickled ginger in it. I absolutely love the fragrance. It's so freaking good. It has a nice amount of green, a nice amount of like ambroxan-ish, almost fizzy woods. It's effervescent, and I absolutely love it.
Well, there is ambroxan in it.
Is there?
Yeah.
I never paid attention.
Base.
Yeah, see,
yeah, that's the base of it.
I never paid attention to the notes, and I always thought when I always catch myself when I say kind of like ambroxan because I didn't actually look at the notes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll put it on the video and I never even know what I put on the video because, as you know, when you edit it, it's like everything blurs together.
Right. What I find interesting is when people hear ambroxan, they think Sauvage immediately. And I'm like, this is nothing like Sauvage.
Yeah, and speaking of this fragrance, I want to go back to something that I saw on Jeff's channel today. So Jeff, if you guys didn't see his channel, he did a Spring Freshies video today. His channel is about compliment testing with women in LA, and one of them was Lacoste Blanc Eau Fraiche. And I was looking through the comments, and I saw the one guy on there was like, "You need to start mentioning more." What was it? What was the word? Did you see that comment?
Hype fragrances.
Yeah, you need to start mentioning more hype fragrances, like top tier hype fragrances. And I was like, I commented back. I said, first off, Jeff has been having a channel for like 6 years now. I was like, second off, he's done pretty much every fragrance you can find in any Macy's, Ulta, Sephora. I said, but even with that said, this Lacoste deserves to be on that hype list train because it is better than 99% of those fragrances.
Heck, I was like, I'll go a step further and I'll say all the major Lacostes deserve to be on the hype train.
I 100% agree.
Fresh, EDP Intense, L'Homme Intense. Like, L'Homme Intense is better than most blue fragrances on the market.
Yeah, and they all have a nice, unique twist to them outside of the Eau de Toilette and Eau de Parfum. They have a nice, unique twist to them where they are all completely different from each other, and you can wear them in different situations. And so you don't really get that from a lot of high-end, not high-end, but like the Macy's fragrances, like the YSLs and the Chanels and all that. That's why I love Lacoste, because Lacoste gets you something unique, fresh, and mass appealing. So anyway, well, I'm going to find one or two more comments before we get into the next one.
All right.
So Love Metal Rain, inspired by Silver Mountain Water. This one's for you. It says Jeff seems like he enjoys. Oh, Jeff seems like he enjoys messing around with the unknowledgeable sales reps.
It
He
actually,
does.
I I humor them sometimes, but then I call them out at the end of it, and then they're like, "What?" My favorite is talking to Creed reps and then talking about the actual history of Creed,
Oh,
and they're like, "This is not anything that we learned about," and I was like, "Yeah, it's all fabricated."
you would think brands like Creed, and PDM and Tom Ford, when their reps come in, you would think that they would be like well trained because they're really high end brands. You would think that they would want to have good sales reps that know a lot about the brands, but I guess not.
So they train them on specifics on each fragrance, but they train them on talking points. Um, but when you're like, "Hey, the history of Creed that doesn't exist before the 1970s," they're like, "What are you talking about? We've been around since the 1700s." It's like, there's no evidence of that whatsoever. I was like, "It's a branding campaign." And then they're like, "You mean they're not making these fragrances for John F. Kennedy and kings and sultans?" And I was like, "No, that's not what happened at all."
See, I honestly never thought about it because when I think back on it for Creed, I would have just thought that it was a brand that was made because it's in Europe, and in Europe they're a lot crazier about perfume and fragrance than they are in the United States. So I figured it was just a house that was made there. This guy said, Sniff Snob said, I think that kind of setup, outsourcing fragrance and beauty, is just the entire industry. No, I thought that the few big flavoring houses have 80% control of the entire market.
So yes, we were talking about Abercrombie and Fitch, I think,
Yeah.
when the comment came in.
Yes.
So speaking on that, there's only like a couple brands that have an in-house perfumer, and that is Chanel and Dior right now. All the other brands outsource to the perfume houses, and they make 80% of the fragrances, most probably more.
So from what he said, it's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty correct in that.
Yeah.
Sandy said, has anyone smelled the new Prada Luna Rossa Parfum yet? I know a few of my subscribers have because they're releasing Dillard's. Prada usually has Dillard's releases because I know they have some kind of setup where Prada gets released first in Dillard's and then it gets released everywhere else. So anybody who has Dillard's in their area, I would check there, but I have not personally smelled it.
No, I haven't either. I don't live near Dillard's.
Yeah, I don't have Dillard's in my state. So living in Pennsylvania kind of sucks. You have Nordstrom, and that is it. There's nothing else. Even in King of Prussia, I think they might have just opened a Creed Aventus store there, or a Creed store, not an Aventus store. Has anyone smelled that new Acqua di Gio 2024 Profondo Absolute EDP Intense Limited? I think that is a nice April Fool's joke. I almost did an April Fool's joke today, but I completely forgot I was going to do it. I was going to film a channel update video, and I was going to say, hey guys, I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a little update on my channel, and I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be stopping things for now because I wanted to spend time with my family. I'm not going to be making any more videos. And then at the end of the video, I was going to be like, April Fool's motherfucker. And then that was going to be the end of the video. And I
No, it worked
forgot.
for me is talk about how I'm just going to shift to being a clone channel.
that would be a really good April Fool's joke. Everybody on your channel.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of SoCal Sense. On this week's clone video, we'll be talking about the following brands that have paid me to put them in a video.
Did you see the April Fool's joke by imaginary authors today?
No, I didn't.
Here, I'm pulling it up right now. I figured you didn't. That's why I was pulling it up. They posted this, and I'll read it because it's probably hard to see. It says Rootin' Tootin' Honky Tonka, and it's a new fragrance that's coming out by them. And they have weird-ass fragrances in general that have weird-ass imaginary notes. And it said it was Rootin' Tootin' Honky Tonka, and the main three notes were tonka bean, nicotine, and stale beer. I looked at it and I even told people, I was like, hey, look at this fragrance. I'm never buying that. It looks like shit. I was like, and how can you get nicotine in a fragrance? Because they put them on patches and stuff. I was like, it's April 1st. And then I realized it was an April Fool's joke. And you should have saw the whole breakdown on their channel. Everybody was freaking out. And then everybody realized it was a April Fool's joke.
On my Finding Fragrance TikTok page, the Finding Fragrance. If you guys aren't following, I have a Finding Fragrance Deals TikTok, and someone asked me to find Secretions Magnifique, and I just responded laughy face emoji because I'm like, who wants that? And they were dead serious, and me finding the best deal of that one, and I was like,
yeah, there's my scent of the day post. I get Secretions Magnifique at least once a month. So
yeah.
I don't know if they're just being.
Have you smelled it, Randy?
I have not, but I've heard really bad things about it.
There's not a single positive. It smells like fecal matter.
Yeah, there's another one out there that was in the same realm as far as the name. It's called Rammstein Pussy. And apparently that one actually smells like what the name is. And so I was like, who would make that stuff?
Well, Elon Musk released Burnt Hair, and everyone said it was the worst smelling thing ever, and it sold out in minutes.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's who you know, who you are, what your name is, and who's attached to that fragrance. Michael said no Lacoste in Australian retail. That's surprising because isn't Lacoste Australian? No, they're in Europe. Never mind.
Australia has the hardest fragrance market.
Yeah,
I've been learning. Like everything there is more expensive. They must have crazy import rules for the designer brands.
Well, that and because there's like an ocean in between them and everywhere else in the world, so they need to. The customs is probably crazy because most of the fragrances are coming from Europe, and that's a far way away. So they, I can understand it, but if you can find Lacoste online for like a decent price, I'd say like I'm not sure what Australian dollars convert to American dollars, but if you can find it like for American dollars, like $60 or $70 or less, then I would go for Eau Fraiche. I think that's an easy one to blind buy, in my opinion, at least.
No.
And Mo is wearing G Tonic today. He put G Tonic, but it's G Tonic, and that's the one that I need to buy. Mo, send me a decant. I want it, and I need it now. Last one, and then we'll get to the next one. Is that the one with the pickle smell? No.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Pickled ginger, not pickle.
So it doesn't smell like pickles. Pickled ginger.
So pickled ginger is the stuff that you find on for those who don't know, it's on the side of sushi. It's that little orange stuff. It's pickled ginger. But honestly, you get little hints of that, but it's more underneath the citrus, the green, the woods, and it's a nice ginger. It's not like super sharp or anything, but yes, there is a pickled ginger in there. With that said, let's get into the third one, Jeff.
All right. All right. I have like 8 in front of me. So
yeah, well, you can show all of them. I don't care. I'm going to save my last 2 because those are my favorite 2. But you can go ahead and show whatever you want. I don't care if it's top 5, top 10 or whatever. I really don't care.
Sospiro Vibrato.
I'm jealous.
The more I wear this, the more I like it. It's going to be on my vlog next week because I didn't release one today, but I wore it on Wednesday last week, and I probably got like 4, 5, 6 compliments within like a 20-minute time frame. Like I've never had fragrance complimented as quick as I've had that one.
Yeah, so for what you guys don't know, if you've seen my channel and you saw that I liked Ingenious Ginger by Goldfield and Banks, and you don't know what Sospiro Vibrato is, I gave Ingenious Ginger an 8.5. Sospiro Vibrato is basically a fresh version of that without the heavy warm amber, and it's better in every single category. And it's just not warm. It's just absolutely the best fragrance that is in that ginger realm that I've ever smelled. So if I had a bottle of it, that would also be in my spring list.
It's really good. Spring, summer, literally anything 70 above, this thing's going to smell great.
Yeah, that's an easy 9 out of 10 for me. I love that fragrance. It might be even higher. Once I get a bottle, I'm probably sure that'll be like a 9.2, 9.3 out of 10.
And the nice thing about it is it does have a controlled atomizer. So I've only been doing quarter sprays on me. And I basically only spraying like 1.5 sprays total, but like a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit here. So you don't need a ton of this stuff.
I have 3 fragrances on my list to pick up right now. And they are Sospiro Vibrato, Gin and Tonic, and that one that was just on there, G and Tonic. And the last one is Isola Blue. And I think that I'm going to put Isola Blue third and then pick the other 2 up whenever they come back on Venba because I need to have both of those. But with that said, mine Since I can't go with Suspiro Vibrato, it is L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé, which is, if you guys don't know, it is the re-released version of Cologne by Guerlain, just with a fruity top. So they did take the same DNA from the L'Homme Ideal Cologne. It's just they added this fruity top to it. And if you don't know what L'Homme Ideal is, the line is built around Tonka almond. This one kind of dials that down. It freshens it up, and it has a nice citrusy opening mixed together with a little bit of this neroli, which is again from that original. So you get a little bit of a white floral, but not too heavy. And then on top of that, you get a slight fruity tone, but I don't know where it's coming from because it's not in the note breakdown, and it doesn't stick out to me as any certain type of fruit. But L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé came out. Where's the camera? Last year, and you can already see there's quite a dent in the bottle just from coming out last year. I absolutely love it. If you haven't tried it, I would definitely recommend it. It's not worth a blind buy, though. I don't think any in the line are. I think that they are more situational style fragrances, so you need to get your nose on it before you buy it.
I also, like, I've smelled it because you sent me a sample of it. It does smell nice, but the whole line, I understand why it was discontinued from the US as well. Like, it is situational.
Yeah. It's that Tonka almond, it is, to me, it just comes off like class. Like that's the way when I think about it, it's like luxury and class. That Tonka and almond, it has this like luxury vibe to it that you just don't smell on people in the United States. You know what I mean? It's just not the type of fragrance you smell in the United States.
Which it makes sense why they made it an EU exclusive, because they're catering to a different audience.
Yeah, exactly. I just saw it pop up, and I think he's leaving. But Ross from TLTG Reviews, thank you for the $10 donation. I really appreciate it. Popping in to say hello. Have a great stream, Randy. Thank you very much, Ross. If you guys want to catch us on April 9th, I will be on his stream with Dedrick. We're doing a decant swap as well. So, yeah, absolutely cool. Thank you very much, Ross. Appreciate it. Let's get to this. So Scott from Central Hub said, yeah, I passed on Gucci Guilty Elixir and I did get the root beer vibe. I don't get root beer from it, but I can see what you're talking about. But yeah, I would never pick that up. Jeff attracts and knows pretty ladies to smell his scents. He lives in LA, and LA is full of some of the most beautiful women in the world, to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of people actually aspire to go to LA to become somebody. And so, and yes, Jeff does know, because Jeff is in a lot of things in LA, judging, dance studio, and stuff like that. So I honestly I honestly don't know exactly what you do. I just know what it consists of. I think that you're like multi-talent acquisition or something like that.
lot of things in the kitchen, but like I manage actors, and so that's where I know a lot of people from, is from that.
Oh, so you're like Ari.
Yeah, but he does agent. I do management. It's a little bit different, but do similar things.
Oh, so you're like what's it? E.
Oh, E. I'm more like E.
You're like E in season 5 when he finally starts working for an actual company.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So they ask, is Oligarch and Isla Blue the same? Yes. They decided to change the name immediately after they launched it because Russia invaded Ukraine.
What? Oh, yeah. No, I knew that. Sorry, I was looking through the chat to find that comment, and I couldn't find it. No. They changed Oligarch to Isla Blue because of the war in Russia. Yeah, or war in Ukraine. Yeah, I did know that.
No. One fragrance. I have Oligarch, and they never sent me Isla Blue because it's the same fragrance.
So last comment, then we'll get into the next one. Jonathan said, no coffee break isn't discontinued, but Whispers in the Library is. Well, I already knew that. Whispers in the Library has been discontinued for a while. It's been discontinued since, I think, before you even bought it, Jeff.
So it was still available then, because they would release it on their website like every few months, but it was coming in such limited quantity that you're like, why are you bringing it in every few months with like a batch of like 50?
Yeah. Oh, shit. My screen just went away. Sorry.
You're still there.
Okay. No, for me, it went black. I know why, because somebody called me. G Law said Amouage is a pass. Yeah, I mean Amouage is a pass for me. Yeah, hell yeah, it's a pass. I think they all smell like, I don't know. A lot of them. There's only one that makes me like, okay, I need to buy that. And there's one that I could wear during the spring, but even so, I wouldn't wear it out in public, and that is Amouage Beach Hut. But that's even still, it smells like a super herbaceous. But I have personally never been an Amouage fan. I know a lot of people. If you are an Amouage fan, you're like an Amouage fan across the board. But if you're not, then you might like one, maybe two out of that line. But they're
Probably
really hard.
Reflection Man, and that's it.
Yeah, for me, I think Reflection Man was good and Royal Tobacco was good. But again, I wouldn't buy a bottle of either of them.
They all smell like they belong in the guy that goes, "Oh, he wears cologne."
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. All right, getting to your next one.
I have a ton in front of me, so I'm just going to go with one that you actually introduced me to, Hugo Jeans Man.
Yay! Hey, it's a nice cheapie. I almost put a cheapie on my list, but I decided not to. Oh wait, I did. Never mind. Banana Republic.
So this one, if you've never smelled it, it smells like tart lime and laundry detergent.
Yeah, as far as the Hugo line, if you guys have ever tried it, most of them you guys will know the Hugo line is pretty boring across the board. They all smell good, but there's like nothing to write home about. They're easy wear scents. Hugo Reversed before this one was probably the best one. And then Hugo Jeans came out, and I smelled that, and I was like, Jeff is going to like this. So I sent him all of the milliliters I had. I sent him everything, which was like this little decant.
It was a tiny decant. I don't even know if it was a full millimeter left. Or milliliter.
Yeah, and, full millimeter.
Full millimeter. I'm doing measurements. And then I found it on eBay for $32.
And like that's a great price.
And I immediately bought it.
If you like lime.
If you like lime, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. Completely agree. And I still haven't bought it. Even though I loved it the first time I don't know why I haven't bought it yet. There's like no reason why I haven't bought it, because I sent it to you and I sent you everything I had because I knew I was buying a bottle, and then I just didn't buy a bottle. And yet I bought Pacific Lime after that, which I should have bought Hugo Jeans in the place of that, but I still love Pacific Lime.
Well, you just bought Pacific Lime though, didn't you?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I was thinking about lime fragrances, and so I bought Pacific Lime for that purpose, but I actually probably should have got Hugo Jeans, because I would think Hugo Jeans is actually better than Pacific Lime for the spring, while Pacific Lime is better than Hugo Jeans for the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could both be worn in either situation.
Yeah, Pacific Lime, though, the hotter it gets, that one works. It's great.
Thoughts on Pour Homme and Amber Oud Gold? I don't know what Pour Homme you mean, because there is 9,500,000 Pour Hommes out there. But Amber Oud Gold, Jeff wouldn't know what that is because it is a clone. It is a clone of Xerjoff Herba Pura, and it doesn't really do Herba Pura like exactly, because I don't really like Herba Pura. But if you want to get in that same realm, that really tropical musk, then it does it good. It's fine. I mean, it's just no clones are better than the originals for the most part. And so, yeah, I don't know what you mean by Pour Homme, James. If you want to pick something else, and like
Versace Pour Homme, Gucci Pour Homme,
every Pour Homme. I mean, Lacoste Pour Homme, right?
Yeah. I think almost every brand has one. Zaro Pour Homme.
You just did yours, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my next one. This is actually my second favorite. So I am doing the last two in order. This is my second favorite spring fragrance. Just got it in. It is Nishane's Wulong Cha, and I already said it. I like these style of green fragrances. This is unisex through and through. I mean, men or women could wear it for sure. It is more tea heavy than anything, but it's more like a green tea. It's that oolong tea, which is where they get the word Wulong Cha. It's oolong tea, and mixed together with a nice fruitiness and green tone. It's very, very, very spring. As soon as you smell it, you know that is spring in a bottle. My wife doesn't like it, but I don't really give a shit, because it smells good and I like it a lot.
I've never smelled it, so.
Really?
Yeah, the only Nishanis I've tried are Hasabat, Ani, and there's one more.
Well, I was going to send you that Strong With You tobacco decant. Well, now that I don't have to, I will send you this with that watermelon shine.
Cool.
So you'll be able to try it. You'll like this. I think that you'll like this because it's more based on tea than any of the other green fragrances that are out there. I think that you actually like this fragrance. It's one of my favorite green fragrances out there. I had to save the next one for last. It's my scent of the day. It's my favorite green fragrance by far, but I'll save that for a second. Amoage fragrance are very situational. I'm just trying to make sure. We're like way behind. Sorry, guys. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Hugo has a lot of underrated gems. See, I disagree. I think that they have a few, like, they're, I wouldn't call them gems. I think they have underrated fragrances because nobody really talks about them. Like I said, Hugo iced and Hugo reversed and that kind of stuff. They smell good, but there's nothing in the line outside of now jeans that I would say is like more than an 8 out of 10. I would say most of them are in that 7.5 range where they'll get the job done and they last 4 or 5 hours, but
This
it's
lasts longer than 4 or 5 hours.
yeah,
So.
that one does. That one, that's why I said Hugo jeans is the underrated gem from the line. The rest of them, I wouldn't really call any of the other ones underrated gems necessarily. I'm trying to find because there are a lot of people talking to each other. Hugo, you just throw at your backpack and respray all day. That I 100% agree with.
Yeah, great backpack fragrance, but you don't need to respray this one all day.
Yep. I believe I was recommended the Versace Pour Homme from a friend for summer. Okay, Jeff, then go ahead and what is your Versace Pour Homme recommendation?
Smells nice. It's 20 plus years old.
Yep. I think
if you want to wear something more modern, get Missoni Wave, but
I think Versace
it smells good.
Yeah, it's in the same realm as Allure Homme and Missoni Wave. It's just I like the other two better. That's exactly the way I feel. Allure Homme Sport and Missoni Wave. I think Missoni Wave, for the price, is the best of those three fragrances and the most modern and the one that if you go around, you can spray it. It has a really nice atomizer. I mean, those bottles might be 30 or 40 bucks, not even, and they have one of the best atomizers in the game. It's a
Did
pressurized.
You find yours for like $14?
$14. $14. Yeah. It was $14.99, and I got it from Marshall's, and then I gave it to my brother. So now I have a decant that's this big. My brother has my Missoni Wave now because I have so many fragrances. I was like, come in my house, try out all the fragrances, and pick which ones you want for each season. So he took my Wanted by Night. He took my YSL Le Parfum, and I had two of those, so I was fine with it. He took my Spice Bomb Infrared, which I had 3 of, so I was fine with that. And then he took my Missoni Wave, which I only had 1 of, but there's so many other fragrances that smell like that. I was fine with it. But I agree. That's Versace Pour Homme is good. You can find it online between $30 and $40, but I would recommend, like Jeff said, pick up Missoni Wave. It's just better. Terrence O'Neill said Wulong Cha is a top-notch tea scent. 100% agree. Jeff, you're going to really like it.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Wulong Cha smells like a warmer, more tea-focused LV Imagination. Well, I don't know much about LV Imagination, but what do you think?
Didn't I send it to you?
Did you?
Maybe. I sent you a bunch of Louis Vuittons.
No, you didn't send me LV Imagination. You sent me Pacific Chill, you sent me Afternoon Swim, and you sent me that one that was pink that I didn't like. I can't remember the name.
Oh, City of Stars.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that one was the only one that I didn't like, but the other two, I can see them from here. That's why I knew the color. Because I gave them my wife. She uses them. She likes them a lot.
City of Stars is in the unisex collection, and it definitely leans more feminine.
Giancarlo, I didn't see you in there, man. What's going on? So speaking of green scents and spring scents, I got the new Blue Atlas, one that I was telling you guys about, Bountiful. That is a really good scent that I could put easily in my top 5 spring scents. There's 3 or 4 of my subscribers bought it on the day I was talking about it. 3 of them came back and said, wow, that's really good. But one said that it smelled really good in the opening, and then when it dried down, it smelled very earthy. And
James?
Was
it James?
Yeah. How did you know?
He was talking to me about it.
Oh,
He did not
yeah.
like it at all.
Yeah, he said that it smelled very dirty and earthy, and I said I had to spray it. Right now, it's on my hand because he said that earlier, and I said the first time I wore it, I got an earthiness. You can see in my video, I said I got a little bit of earthiness in there, but the second time I wore it, I got like this like a heavy earthiness that I didn't get the first time. But then the third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth times that I wore it, I didn't get it. And right now, I don't get it either. And so I don't know if it's just something that interacts with his skin that way, or I don't know. But so 3 out of 4 really liked it, but he hated it. I mean,
Yeah.
he really hated it. How did you know? Did he like? You
He
guys
talked to me about it. He lives in LA, so he always messages me when he goes to the mall and stuff.
Yeah, he said he was gonna return it.
So that's a good segue to my next fragrance is
Blue Atlas
sometimes it can
Atlantis.
smell different on you depending on the weather.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Atlantis.
We have House Ice.
I knew that was coming. I saw it earlier when you picked it up.
Because when it's warm, you get the mint in this fragrance. When it is cold, you get 0 mint in the fragrance. It's literally the tale of two fragrances when depending on what the weather is.
Yeah, when Jeff got that fragrance in, when I first got it, because I got it like a week before you, and I was talking about it, and I said I don't really get much mint. But then Jeff, and this was me in the middle of winter. Jeff, or like
so this was October, so it was cold for you.
Like, it was cold for me, and it was hot.
It was
for
in
Jeff
the 80s and 90s in LA in October.
Yeah, and so Jeff got it and said, "Do you really not get mint? Because for me, it is really heavy on the mint." And I said, "No." And 2 days later, the weather's all weird, so it went up to like 79 here. I wore it, and it was like the mint popped so much, and I was like, "This is so crazy." And then like a week later, I wore it again, and it was like 30 degrees outside, and again, the mint was so subtle. So we finally figured it out, and it was the same thing for him. The mint pops heavy in the heat, and it's not in the cool weather
at all. Like no mint. Because when I first described this one, I was like, "Oh, this is like House meets Alorum Sport O Extreme," and then you're like, "Where's the mint at?" And I'm like, "It's there. That's what it smells like to me."
Yeah, that is a very good explanation of exactly the issue that is happening with that James guy in the Blue Atlas, or with the Blue Atlas fragrance, because he's getting this heavy earthy tone, and I don't get it at all. And yet the other 3 guys didn't get it, or at least if they did get it, they liked it.
And it could be the same thing with aquatics. How if you can't smell that aquatic note, that becomes like a rotten egg style of
the fishiness.
Yeah, if like you just may never smell that.
Yeah, I got there was an aquatic fragrance. Oh, it was CK 2019 edition. That CK Summer 2019, where it looks like a bomb went off on the front of it, like in an anime.
Yeah.
Mo just sent it to me, and on my last live stream, I tested it out. And in the opening, like 10 minutes, I got that fishiness, and it was super aquatic fishiness. And that was the first time in any aquatic fragrance that fishiness has ever popped out. I mean, that Killian Blue Moon that everybody was saying they got that fishy smell from, I didn't smell it at all. While I didn't love the fragrance, I didn't smell that at all. And it was that was the first fragrance that I ever got that smell from.
I've gotten it from quite a few of the Geos.
I know you have.
Specifically the Eau de Parfum, and then, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on the name of it. Geo. It came out like 10 years earlier. It was in the same color bottle. It starts with an E.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about. Now
oh my gosh. I'm going to Google it real quick.
Aqua de Joe, and it's supposed to smell like that Bulgari or whatever. A lot of people say it smells
Essenza.
Like
there we go.
Aqua de Joe Essenza. It smells like the Bulgari.
That was the first time I'd ever gotten them in the Geo fragrance. And Essenza, I was like, man, this smells like blood. And I was super confused because I was like, I didn't ever experience that. And then I went to the comment section, and like a good majority of the comments are people are like, it smells like blood, it smells like blood. But the people who don't smell that are like, this is the best fragrance ever.
Yeah. Oh, Jonathan just said if you like those tea scents, don't forget about Bulgari Pour Homme. I actually Bulgari Pour Homme is a nice tea scent, but it also smells like a '90s tea scent. I think it smells nice, but it smells like very what's that?
Lacoste L'Homme Timeless.
Oh, Lacoste. I still have not tried that.
I'll have to send it to you sometime. It is rhubarb and tea. It's beautiful, and it's
How
hard
much
to
does
find. So I
it?
think it's discontinued now, but because it's like $50 online now.
Wow, so much.
Well, when it was 30.
How much does it? How close does it smell to Lacoste L'Homme Intense?
So if you took that DNA, um, pulled some of the density out to add a refreshing tea note to it,
Right.
that's kind of what it is. So it's lighter, it's not as thick and heavy, but it's way more relaxing. This is a relaxing scent.
Well, I'll have to definitely try that because I love the intense and I like the rhubarb from the intense, so I'm gonna try that out. But as
If you
far as
like the intense and you like tea, you'll probably really like that one.
I like tea a lot. Bulgari Pour Homme though, to me, I like the scent. It's just I feel like I would wear it back in the '90s. I can't wear it now. That's why I'm actually very excited to try the new Bulgari Pour Homme. It's like the Bulgari Pour Homme Eau de Parfum, because apparently it's a modern take on the original, and it just got released. I'm gonna try to find it. I haven't seen it anywhere, but I think it's on their website. So I'll definitely try that out. Has anybody in the chat tried out the new Bulgari Pour Homme Eau de Parfum? Because I want to know if anybody likes that. With that said, I'm going to get into my final one. It is Imaginary Authors Saint Julep. This is my favorite fragrance for the spring. I wear it all the time. And if you can tell, so I got this last year and it's almost gone. I love this fragrance. Maybe it was like a year and a half ago, but it is sweet mint, tangerine, southern magnolia, bourbon, griselva, sugar cube, and crushed ice is the um, imaginary note.
It smells
But
great.
yeah, it smells like a sugar bourbon minty drink. That's pretty much what I mean. It's minty, but it's almost like a candied mint mixed together with like a little bit of booziness underneath there. And then if you do like this, or if you've tried this before and you want something similar to it, I was telling Jeff yesterday, it's a Lolita Lampica Green Lover. It smells like this if you replaced um, the backdrop of the fragrance and with like an orange creamsicle. It smells like this, but mixed with an orange creamsicle. It's really nice, and it's only like 30 some dollars. But that only lasts about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, which I honestly don't care. I know Jeff doesn't care either. As long as I'll carry a decant, or this bottle can fit in my pocket. I mean, it's smaller than a cell phone. So I honestly
My
don't
favorite
care.
thing with longevity complainers are the ones that are like, oh, it only lasted like 6, 7 hours. I'm like, so if you leave work or school, you can spray something else new on because you collect hundreds of fragrances. I'm like, none of that ever makes sense because they're going to spray multiple fragrances a day anyways.
Right. I actually like when fragrances are only 3 to 4 hours sometimes because working from home, especially, I like to, with how many fragrances I have in my collection, I like to test out fragrances throughout the day, or at least wear one that's more for the morning. And then when it's like more closer to the evening, I want to have more of my night out scent. And if I'm not getting changed to go out anywhere, then it's like it's nice when that fragrance is already pretty much off my skin so that I can put something new on.
It's
You know what I
great,
mean?
especially if you're wearing multiple fragrances a day.
Yeah. John Carlos said, commodity tea is great. I actually have tried that. It's one that I didn't buy because the box was broke. And when I looked inside, because it was taped really weird at my Marshall's, and on the inside, the bottle looked like it was cracked. So I didn't buy it. But I did buy commodity vetiver, which was okay, and commodity bergamot, which I like a lot. But I did like commodity tea. I tried that. Somebody sent me a decant. I can't tell you who it was. Some random person, one of my subscribers, most likely. Versace Pour Hommes smells like what the average person thinks of when they are thinking about a men's cologne. Yeah, I mean,
If you're going to describe what the mall spray smells like in 2024, I feel like that's a good example. Like in the 90s, Eternity was that.
I have Spice Bomb, Infrared, Eau de Parfum. Would the Boss the Scent Elixir be redundant? No. So Boss the Scent, any of the ones in the line are more closer to the scent than they are anything else. It's just I was telling you, at least in my video, that the opening half hour, it smells at least like it's like a half hour to 45 minutes. It has this pink pepper sweetness and spiciness that you get from Infrared Eau de Toilette, not the Eau de Parfum. That mixes together with like Boss the Scent Magnetic, and you mix those together. But no,
It
if
does
any,
smell like they. It does smell like they like smashed and had a baby, and it was Boston and Elixir.
yeah, but if you had to say it was redundant to anything, it would be something from the scent line, not from Infrared. I don't
Yeah,
think like because it's more the scent than it is Infrared, but it's kind of like they smashed the two together.
but the redundancy comes in how you would wear it. I think you would wear them for the same situations.
Yeah, like a situational wear, then yes. But
Yeah,
as far as the scent itself, like the
it smells
actual
great.
smell, it smells great, and it's not redundant as far as the smell. But as far as when you would wear it, yeah, Jeff's right. I mean, it all depends on. And I've said this 100 times in the last week. It all depends on the size of your collection. If you're trying to build up a collection, it'd be fine for like a collection of 50 or more. But if you're in like the 10 to 15 to 20 range, then probably not. At least in my opinion. Is Guerlain, L'Homme Ideal, Eau de Parfum? No. I don't think any of them in the line outside of the Intense and the original are good for the office. And that one is cherry heavy. It's more like a wedding scent than anything. You know what that one is?
Yeah, I've tried it.
Yeah, I don't think that's like something that you would wear to the office.
I think that could become very overwhelming to people around you very quick.
Yeah.
Like if you wore it once, I think people would be like, "Oh, okay." And then if you wore it every day, then I think people would start to be like, "Yo,
yeah,
you need
it's
to change that fragrance out."
it's not something crazy like if you went into the office with Sauvage Elixir, that's people are going to be like, oh hell no. So yes, you and technically, I mean, I've heard people wearing Most Wanted and Infrared and all of those to work, and I'm just like, work is supposed to be fresh, clean, green, whatever it might be, blue.
Professional.
Yeah, and people are wearing these like overly sweet gourmands and stuff. And for me, L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum would not be an office, in my opinion, what you're supposed to be wearing to the office. Would it be terrible if you wore it to the office? No. Is it something that you should be? Probably not. No. With that said, you want to show us one more, and then I'm going to have to go because my wife has to take a shower, and I'm in the room where she does that.
Yeah. I don't know what one you're gonna do, but I will just pick this one.
Well, I'm
We're gonna
done
go with
now.
we're gonna go with Myself by Yves Saint Laurent.
That's actually a good pick.
This smells like spring.
Yep.
It smells like spring blooming outside. Fragcom hates it. Everyone else loves it.
I don't understand why people in the fragrance community hate on it so much. I think it smells great.
I honestly think this is going to be like Prada Black, where because this is one of the top sellers now at the department stores.
Don't mind me. I'm looking for a fragrance.
When Prada Black first came out, people hated on it, and then the general public loved it, and then they had to circle back around all the people that hated on it, going, "Hey, this is actually a good fragrance." I have a feeling Fragcom is going to come back on this guy and be like, "We screwed up. This is great."
Just like they did with about 500 other fragrances. Myself
the most wanted EDP. Like,
yep. Hold on, I'm texting my wife real quick.
Like, we're almost done.
Yeah. I told her I'd be in here for an hour and a half, and it's only been an hour and 13 minutes, and you got on here like 5 minutes after I started. But I was only going to do the 5, but since you did a 6th, I told you I was almost going to put this on the list, but I didn't. But now I will. I
almost put it on the list too.
It's Polo Cologne Intense, and a lot of people, when they see this, they get it confused with Polo Green. It is not Polo Green. Polo Green is no longer in stores, at least most stores nowadays. Polo Cologne Intense is what has replaced it. And Polo Green smells like you're from the 1960s. This one smells like, I mean, even though it still smells good, Polo Cologne Intense is green but spicy. This is like out of all these ones, it has the most amount of like this green spiciness to it. You know what I'm talking about?
It smells like sexy mouthwash to me.
Yeah, it has. Is that what it is? Is there mint in this?
Yeah, it's like mint, spearmint, like
It's like a spicy mint. That's the
yeah.
way that I get it, which would like a mentholated mouthwash or something like that. Like that's I agree with you on that. It has a little bit of a foresty vibe on my skin though. I need to spray it. I haven't worn it since last spring, so this is actually really freaking good.
On a cool spring breezy day, there's very few fragrances that smell better than that outside.
Yeah, that's really good. I know I was putting it on the list for because I know I like it and I only wear it during the spring, and then whenever it's not the spring, let's see, hold on. Yeah, I got a bunch of dust on my finger. I don't wear it until because I bought it last spring. Remember, I told you I went to Saks Off Fifth and I bought that Polo Blue Parfum for like $40.
Yeah.
Then I got this for $36 or $37, which I mean that's pretty much the running price online right now. But if you guys haven't tried Polo Cologne Intense, it's really nice.
And if you like mint and fresh mint, it's good.
Yeah, see, I didn't realize that it was mint. Spearmint makes sense though. I mean, because yeah, on my skin, I'm not like smelling a wallop of mint or anything, but to me, it kind of comes off like a spearmint mixed together with a forest. I don't know why.
And citrus.
Yeah, it's really good.
But I'm telling you guys, if you own that on a cool, breezy spring day, just spray that on 5-6 sprays, go outside, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is perfect.
Is Polo Deep Blue worth buying? So I actually don't like Polo Deep Blue. I know a lot of people do. I prefer Polo Gold Blend. Polo Deep Blue, there is this earthy aromatic tone that comes through on my skin that I really don't like, and it's the lavender. I've never been a big fan, and the mango comes off a little bit, I don't know, stanky on me, and my wife loves it. I can't wear it. I had to sell my bottle. So what are your opinions on it?
I like Deep Blue. I think it smells good. It was a weird release because they launched it in 2021, I think, and then discontinued it like 3 months later.
Right.
Because they decided to change how they do all of the blue bottles because they wanted to SEO optimize their fragrance line with the EDT, EDP, and Parfum. If you are debating on it, it's fresher than Polo Blue Parfum. But if you were debating between which one to get between the two, and they're the same price, I would go Polo Blue Parfum over Deep Blue. But
I would too. I would 100% go with that. Just for
you can
me,
get both of them for $35 though, so it's like one of those things where you're like, I like blue fragrances and fresh fragrances, so
it's crazy because Polo Deep Blue was discontinued like a year and a half ago, and yet you can still find it on pretty much every discounter for $50.
They relaunched it.
Oh yeah, the Deep Blue. Yeah, but it's not at Macy's anymore though.
They don't carry it at Macy's, but it was relaunched.
Yeah, I forgot they relaunched it, but they still sell the original one with like the silver, the silver stripe on the side.
Yeah.
They still sell that on Joma Shop for like $43.
My Bloomingdale's had Polo Gold Blend last week, and I was like, hey, I know you have the tester out, but like, do you actually have a bottle of this? And they're like, oh, there's no bottle. And I was like, well, why do you have a tester out of a fragrance that's been discontinued for years? And they were like, it has? And I'm like, yes. Why is this here? I was like, can I have the tester?
Yeah, my Ulta had the tester for actually 2 testers of Armani Code Absolute until last week when I told them the same thing. And I was like, can I have those testers? And they were like, no, unfortunately. I'm like, please, you guys aren't going to send this back anywhere. You're going to throw those away. You could have easily just given them to me, and then I could have went on eBay and sold them. I mean, yeah. I already have a bottle, so I don't need it. But
I bought a bottle right before when it was rumored it was getting discontinued. Armani had a 40% off sale, and because I have the 30 ml bottle, and I only use it as a date night fragrance, and I was like, oh, it's on the lower side. I was like, let me get the 60 ml bottle. And I got the 60 ml bottle for like $35. And
Yeah, that's a great price.
I'm like, I could sell that for 200,
You still
somewhere in that
can't,
range.
you still can't beat my 6.8 ounce Profumo.
No, I cannot.
No one will ever beat that price. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, at my clearance section at my Ulta, they had a 6.8 ounce Profumo and a 2 ounce Profumo. And one of my nephew just texted me and said he's interested in getting one of my fragrances. He's like 10.
Give them Sauvage Elixir.
Yeah, seriously, right?
I just had a teen on TikTok argue with me about Sauvage Elixir. He's like, I'm a teen and I wear Sauvage Elixir in the summertime and I get so many good compliments. And I was like, you're the cologne guy. And he didn't understand that. And I was like, you'd get better compliments from any other fragrance. He's like, but I don't. I go, they're only saying you smell good because you are stinking up the whole room.
Yeah. Hey, Jace, if you're watching, yes, I'll give you a fragrance. I think he's watching right now. I think that's why he texted me. If you're watching, Jace, I'll give you a fragrance. Anyway, somebody asked a question. I just need to find it again. Tony said, "Hey guys, thanks for the content and knowledge you guys provide. Greetings from San Francisco." Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. And then somebody said, Mo said, "I don't know how many times I almost bought Polo Cologne Intense and Bulgari Wood Essence." Well, I would get Polo Cologne Intense first.
100%.
Yeah. What is the best fresh Mancera? I like Aqua Wood. I really like that, and I like Lemon Lime, but Aqua Wood is one that I didn't really like when I first tried it, but now it's my favorite fresh Mancera. Well, do you have any favorite fresh Manceras?
I don't love Mancera really at all, but Sicily smells good. However, Clementine, California is just a better version of Sicily.
I agree. I definitely agree with that too.
So I'm like, I like Sicily, but I'm like, Clementine, California exists. I'm like, just by Clementine, California.
I almost I actually forgot. I would have put it in my top 5. And I know you don't like it, but it would have easily been in my top 5. And I forgot I had it because, again, it's one of those fragrances I only wear during the spring, maybe summer. Mancera's Cedrat Boisé. I know you're not a huge fan of that, but it's one of my favorite spring fragrances. And that should have been on this list. I forgot. It's right behind that Triumph of Bacchus, and I moved the Triumph of Bacchus forward because it's more for right now. And so I would say Cedrat Boisé for me is my favorite, but it's not for everybody. And then number 2 is Aqua Wood. But let me see if there's any other questions, and then I gotta hit the road. Is Absolute the root beer one? No, that is Profumo. No other questions. I am your nephew. Sent it to me. You're not Dimitri. You're not my nephew. Goodness gracious.
Dimitri also just asked Xerjoff Torino 21 or 22. I've never smelled 22.
21's great.
21 is good. Me and Randy just spent a whole day talking about it. Yeah, lemon, mint, and herbs.
That's lemon, mint, and herbs. That is exactly what I actually was talking. What he just said that. Why would I say it again? Jeff and I were just talking, and I said I had a decant of it, and I really like Torino 21, and I was comparing it to Azzaro's Wild Mint, but Azzaro's Wild Mint is a lot thicker and doesn't have that lemon zestiness up top. And the way that it comes across in Torino 21 is the lemon's a little bit more subtle, but it's also coming from the lemon grass that's in there, or the lemon, whatever it was. I think it was lemongrass.
Verbena.
Lemon verbena. That's what it was. And I think that is what provides that lemony feeling throughout the entire fragrance. While there is lemon in the opening, it stays there for a while, and I think it's from that lemon verbena. But
the lemon, because I wore it as my fragrance of the day the other day. The lemon, I could smell it from the time I sprayed it to the time I took a shower.
Yep. So any other final thoughts? Because that's the end of the chat. And I'm sorry if we skipped anybody. I tried to get through as much as I can, but it's hard on StreamYard. So, but any other final thoughts, Jeff?
Nope. That's it. Spring fragrances are fun.
Yeah. Well, if you guys did like this, if you're coming in watching on the replay, make sure to hit that like, comment below. If you guys liked me and Jeff together on a stream, make sure to let us know in the comments, and then we'll do it again. I mean, because I thought I have a lot of fun when Jeff's on the stream.
Yeah.
Because I told him the other day, It is. I don't like doing collaborations, but I like doing collaborations when it's with somebody that I'm already friends with, because it's a lot easier to have that conversation. It's like,
And we actually look at the chat.
yes, and when you actually look at the chat and not leaving the people in there, it's good for everybody. But since you have no final thoughts, I appreciate. Oh, we do have one more. Someone said, "How do you guys feel about Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme?" I don't even know
It's
what that
not for
is.
me personally.
Oh, Dolce & Gabbana. Never mind. Yeah, not for me either. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then that's going to be it. So I appreciate everybody. Make sure to go follow Jeff if you haven't already. Again, he's a Compliment Test channel. Also has a TikTok, so go follow them. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And we will see you on the next one. Peace out.
Bye, guys.